Sir, may I come in?
Please come on.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please take your chair.
Thank you, sir.
You are smartly dressed up.
Thank you, sir.
Aditya, will you speak, tell in detail about yourself, apart from what you've written in the DAF. Something extra that you would like to know?
Sir, my name is Aditya. I have done my graduation in economics from Rajasthan University. Then I went on to do my master's from Jawaharlal Nehru University. And apart from DAF, I think, sorry, I'm not able to condense my thoughts at present.
What did you study in Jawaharlal Nehru University?
Sir, I've done my master's in politics with specialization in international relations.
Okay. Good.
Good morning, Aditya.
Thank you.
What does your name signify? Your first name. Both the words in your name signify something.
So my first name means son in English, and the second name means, I guess, teacher, guru.
Okay. We have a big mission, scientific mission, named after you.
Yes. Sir, Aditya L1.
What is it?
Sir, it is a space mission by ISRO to study the outer atmosphere, chromosphere and photosphere of the sun.
So it is an observatory, or?
Sir, it is basically observatory.
Okay. There is a big religious festival since I think you were born in Bihar, also for sun god. What is that? Big festival, very big festival. It is also being celebrated in other parts of the country now.
Sir, I'm not able to recollect the name, but it is about the setting of sun. The people, they worship the sun when it sets down.
Both setting sun as well as rising sun. It's known as Chhat Puja.
Chhat Puja. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
sir.
And it is celebrated sometimes in November.
Yes.
That is what it is. Okay. Yesterday's newspaper, or I think today's, have you seen today's newspaper?
Yes.
You had a chance. Okay. The US Defense Secretary has given a statement that that Ukraine joining NATO is an unrealistic dream. They also said, I think the statement also says that Ukraine should forget about 2014 border lines, that they will come back to it. Are we seeing are we nearing the end of conflict in Ukraine?
So definitely there have been some pressing points after the new administration in US has come, which have pointed to a point where there is push for negotiations rather than continuing war. And American administration, I read today only in the newspaper that President Trump talked to President Putin regarding the negotiations, and we may see a end to the war very soon.
But Europe says no negotiations without us. US cannot take a unilateral decision. So what do you have on the table now?
So definitely Europe is a player in this whole war, given that the first blunt of the war was faced by Europe, given the Ukraine is in European territory. But I believe that here major stakeholders will be US and Russia, given that US is a very prominent power, and US is a power which has been supporting Ukraine in this war. And if US pulls out its support, then definitely Ukraine will be in a position where it will have to come to the negotiating table.
Okay. We have a neighborhood first policy.
Yes.
Since your PSIR is your
Yes.
option. We have a neighborhood first policy. But if you look around, Pakistan only yesterday had fired on the LOC. Bangladesh is showing us tantrums. Sri Lanka is a bit better now. Maldives is a bit better now. Nepal is still not really seeing reasons in many things and getting pushed towards China. Has the neighborhood first policy failed, or we can still salvage the situation?
So I think we can still salvage the situation. Currently, we are in a phase where there have been far-reaching changes in the neighborhood in the terms of government and the parties or the people who have come to power. And that's why we are seeing a phase in all of our neighborhood where we are seeing a situation where there have been some instances that people who have been in power have not been supporting of the Indian cause or who have not been supporting towards India that much. But otherwise, I see neighborhood first policies very much in the place, and it will yield better results in long term.
When do you see from here, say the time period, that our relationship with Bangladesh will get normalized?
So there have been efforts. Recently, our foreign secretary visited Bangladesh, and there have been talks that for external affairs minister will meet his Bangladeshi counterpart in some state on the sidelines of some bilateral or multilateral meeting. So definitely there have been steps where we are trying to normalize the ties with the current Bangladeshi political setup, and I think in long term we will have good relations with Bangladesh, given we have better P2P relations with Bangladesh.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Aditya. Just one more question on Bangladesh. Do you think the Bangladeshi side is interested in improving its relations with India? From what the current approach, the current activities that are taking place there? They're trying, but are they?
There have been some fissures regarding our India-Bangladesh ties. But recently I saw an article in a newspaper where the foreign advisor to the Bangladeshi government, he wrote an article where he went out and clearly said that we want to improve ties with Bangladesh, but definitely we must not fall in the trap of words only. We must see through the actions. What actions at the end of the day Bangladeshi political setup is taking towards the Indian sensitivities.
You also mentioned that for Zhenjiao's you have conducted something on China and Taiwan.
Yes, ma'am.
What is Zhenjiao's?
Ma'am, Zhenjiao's is a think tank under the Ministry of Defense, headquarter IDS. Its full form is Center for Joint Warfare Studies.
What was your scope of study? What is your assessment? Will China attack and forcibly? They've been saying they will take over Taiwan, but you think, what is your assessment? Will it actually happen in the near future?
Ma'am, all of the studies and the white papers they have published in recent times and the statements by their leadership, they point to the fact that they are in the mood that they will reunify with Taiwan either forcefully or without force.
What was your study? What did your study say about it? What is your assessment? It will happen.
Ma'am, in near future, like in next 5 to 10 years, I don't see. Right. But, ma'am, because I think the Ukraine-Russia war would have given a setback to the Chinese leadership that any nation can't be trampled over just with the mighty force.
What are no other reason you think? What are the interlinkages between the Chinese economy and Taiwan?
Yes, ma'am. There are deep interlinkages in terms of, I believe, semiconductors and electronic equipments. They have a deep trade.
Will that affect action by the Chinese?
No, that will affect, but I think given China is a much bigger economy and a much resilient economy, they would be ready to take that amount of risk.
They would, and would they succeed? Or is there
a chance
there's a chance of escalating into something bigger?
Ma'am, I think the success of China is highly improbable, but we may see a war in, because President Xi Jinping has given a timeline to his Chinese reunification with Taiwan, 2047.
So it's a long way off.
Yes, it's a long way off. That's why I don't see.
Xi Jinping may or may not be there. Policies might change. Or
yes,
no?
That definitely can.
It's possible. Okay. In this context and the geopolitical shifts that are taking place, how do you see India-China ties in the background of all this and the geopolitical shifts that are taking place? And the current ties and the future of this relationship?
India-China ties are in a state of flux, but we are heading towards again a phase where we are negotiating the issues, the bilateral issues, and
how important is it for us and for them?
I think India is in a stage where it must have peaceful ties with all its neighbors so that it can focus on its economic development. And at this stage, we can't handle a full-blown war with China.
You think there's going to be a war?
No,
possibility is there?
But there have been small-scale conflicts.
Small scale is different. You said we can't afford a full-scale war. So is that a possibility?
No, ma'am. I don't think in near term.
And what in the terms of geopolitical shifts? How do you explain the ties and what is happening?
Ma'am, after President Trump has come, there have been efforts from the Indian side that we mend our ties with China, because President Trump's policy regarding China would be very unpredictable. We don't know what shape it will take, and since America is a leading power, what stance they will take will to a great extent define our own stances regarding the geopolitical shifts.
But with China, that will define our relationship with China will be defined by the US. You think?
Not directly with the US, but definitely it will have an impact on the way we chart our course with China.
Thank you.
I was pleasantly surprised to find your interest in listening to devotional songs, which you've said, bhajans.
Yes.
I'd like to understand from you, what are devotional songs and how are bhajans, say, different from a romantic song or the prayers that we read? What are bhajans?
Sir, bhajans are basically devotional songs in the praise of God or the deity with which you want to connect through the music form or the song form. While the other types of songs, especially which you refer to, romantic songs, I think they are about human relationships with each other.
So you see your relationship with the Almighty in a different light from that of human relations. What's the difference?
So, as far as relationship with God is concerned, I believe I see them as a guiding light, the Almighty, and with I listen to bhajans basically since it is a praise of God. So, and moreover, it gives me calm and peace of mind.
Okay. So it serves you. We consume what we need. Huh?
Yes.
So you consume music, and it fulfills your physical need, intellectual need, or spiritual need.
So I think all of the three.
Also physical need.
So in the sense that it makes me much more calmer person.
Who are your favorite bhajan singers?
Sir, from the old guard, I think Pandit Jasraj is one of the very good singers. And in the new ones, Pandit Maithili Thakur is one who is in the recent times have caught my attention. She is a very good singer. And Rishabh Rakhiram Sharma, he is a new sensation in this field.
Oh, great. Now, is the content of a bhajan more appealing to you, or the music, which is the vehicle of that content, that is more appealing to your mind?
So, though it depends on the individual bhajans, but then too, I would say the story they want to at the end of the day portray. That is the content. I think that is much more important.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Aditya, have you heard of Jaya Kishore?
Yes.
She also sings?
Yes.
There was a controversy regarding a very expensive bag she was carrying. So, do you think that such standards should apply to bhajan singers? Right? That you cannot, be materialistic or cannot buy something expensive? Right? What's your view?
So my personal view is this, that such limitations should not be applied to an individual, given she is not someone who is a sannyasi, who has left the material resources of the world. She is just a devotional singer. So I think she has all of her right to carry her the way she wants to.
Mahatma Gandhi utilized devotional songs, right, in the freedom struggle.
Yes.
Can you name the song?
So Vaishnav Jan.
And who wrote it?
Narsi Mehta.
Right. How do you see the Tulsidas, Mirabai, and Kabir's influence on devotional songs? And how do you compare bhajans with kirtans or kavalis?
Sir, all of the personalities you mentioned, they have had a very wide impact on the bhajan segment, given because they were the first ones who started these devotional songs in the vernacular language. So definitely the reach due to this vernacular language was higher, and they presented these very complex philosophical ideas in a very simple language. So it was easier for people to understand and connect with what they were propagating. And as far as comparison with Qawwalis and Kirtans is concerned, sir, Kirtans, I believe they are much more Sanskritized versions of the praise of the Lords. So, and whatever I have read, Kirtans are also bhajans in South India.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
Yes.
You're a dog lover, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, some people don't like that. Right. So, there are 23 to 25 breeds which are banned in India. Dog.
Actually, they were not banned. A recommendation was given that they should be not being breeded by the breeders who are.
Chandigarh administration is doing it. Delhi has banned. There have been many incidents in November in Delhi. There was a person mauled by dogs. Hyderabad had similar incidents. Nagpur has incidence rate of maybe nearly 30 dog bites a day. Right. So now let's say you are made the municipal commissioner, right? What's your favorite cadre choice? Just to have an idea.
Sorry, sir?
Which cadre choices? Which is your favorite? Rajasthan.
Yes.
Let's say you go to Jaipur,
Yes.
right? And you made the municipal commissioner there, and obviously you are in charge. So how now you're getting complaints of dog bites? How do you tackle this? Being a dog lover, there are demands to euthanize. On one hand, there is the law on another, and then there's the dog lover, Aditya Acharya. So how does he handle this ethical dilemma?
Sir, I think this issue of dog bites and increasing dog population must be held in an ethical as well as scientific way. And the scientific way points to the fact that euthanization of dogs may not yield better results in long run. Rather, we should spay and neuter them and vaccinate them so that they do not carry the rabies virus. And in long term, we can take help of NGOs and animal welfare organizations, as has been highlighted by the Animal Birth Control Rules of 2023. And they point also to the fact that if we are able to neuter and spay around 70% of the population of stray dogs, in long run they will yield results and stabilize the population, as well as control the incidences of dog bites.
What about the conflict between neighbors that tends to happen, right? Ma'am loves stray dogs. She's feeding them. Sir doesn't. He's calling the MC to take them away. Now, how do you handle this conflict?
Sir, Animal Birth Control Rules again 2023 are something which they have addressed this issue, where there have been instances where we can include animal welfare organizations, as well as regarding this feeding of community feeding of stray dogs is concerned. The need is that there should be designated spots of community feeding, as well as there should be designated time when the people or the children are not in the vicinity. Such a place should be selected for community feeding of dogs, as well as far as timing is concerned. Timing should also be such that when people and children are especially not there. So the rules very well define this.
One question on the international relations. Arab states, they tend to support the Palestinian cause.
Yes.
Right. Though obviously it has changed with Abrahamic Accords and all. But nobody is ready to take the refugees. How do you see that when, assuming you are the person negotiating, how would you convince the Arab states of, let's say, Jordan and others, right, next to Gaza, to take the refugees?
Sir, I think Jordan already has 30 million Palestinian refugees, and since they have had a bad history with those refugees, that is the main point. That's why they don't want to take these refugees. Regarding I as a negotiator is concerned, I will point to the fact that given you are so much connected to the issue, and since humanitarian needs of the hour is that we should go for such a plan. So on those lines, humanitarian lines, and those lines, I would try to persuade the people that they take those refugees.
You studied in JNU.
Yes, sir.
There are like clamor, that JNU should be a multidisciplinary institution, like other science disciplines also should be coming in rather than only humanities and languages. What did you say on that?
So definitely, as far as discipline is concerned, it can be enforced in the campus. But given that JNU is a very democratic space, I think rather than putting the enforcement of rules in a top-down manner, a better way would be that we take in the student community and the student leadership which is there in consonance, in consensus with them, and then I think the enforcement of rule would also be much better.
But I didn't ask you this question whether students should be involved or not. My question was specific. Whether some technical disciplines like medical engineering should also be introduced.
Sir, they have
Where
already
does
been
student come
introduced.
into picture?
Sir, they have already been introduced. A School of Engineering was recently opened just when I joined.
More of it, because it's a huge campus with great facilities. Primarily, it was meant for humanities and linguistics, but gradually they have expanded. Some people say that only load of humanities should be reduced and others should be there.
So definitely that can be a case given JNU is a very premier institution. So any other discipline open in the campus will yield better results. But at the same time, there is a need for infrastructure upgradation in the campus so that we can accommodate the additional students.
No, but in '69, when Jawaharlal Nehru ji had visualized this, it was not meant to be expanding it. The purpose of JNU was something else. You are trying to vitiate it by saying this. Would you not agree with what Jawaharlal Nehru visualized at the time?
Sir, I think with changing times, we should change our thoughts.
Article 19 of the Constitution talks about right to freedom.
Yes, freedom of speech and expression.
And there is something called anti-defection law.
Yes.
Is it not contradictory to each other? Yes, right to freedom is there. But if I am elected today, I can't leave this party and go to another party. Is it not contradictory?
Sir, it is contradictory to some extent, but then there is also this argument that that people have elected that legislature not only on his individual face value, rather also the party from which he selected and the ideas that party possesses.
So you are saying both the things. One, it is contradicting. Two, it is not. Both the things you are saying?
So I think there is need of balance.
Okay. When Plato talks about philosopher king, does it fit into our democratic system? In India, a philosopher king could be the Prime Minister of India?
So in a democratic setup, I don't think Plato's idea would fit.
Why?
In. Because the philosopher king has unlimited, unbridled powers due to the fact that he has ultimate knowledge. And democracy is of the view that no person can have a monopoly of thought or ideas.
Mm-hmm. Like, if I am asking you to give a score to Indian democracy after so many years of our independence, out of 10, how much you will give?
Sir, 8.5 or 9.
8.5, so precise.
Or 9.
Okay. 1.5, why do you leave out 1.5? Why not 10?
So there are scope of improvements
Like?
always. Sir, I think we can strengthen our institutions, especially Parliament. In recent times, there have been decline in the functioning of Parliament, where rather than better discussions on the issues that concern people, there is ruckus in the Parliament, and the House is most of the time not in order. Also, at the same time, we can also improve some of our election mandates.
Like
there can be some introduction of right to recall or something of that sort, where there is much more accountability to the person who has been elected as either MLA or MP.
Are you satisfied with the way elections are held in India? ECI's role, EVM's role. Are you happy with it?
Yes, sir.
There is no need for improvement?
So definitely there is a need of improvement in some sorts.
Like?
So I think EVMs are functioning well, but the amount of information that ECI can give or the implementation of model code of conduct that can be improved.
No, be specific.
So can I take 2 minutes?
Please.
So sorry, I'm not able to precisely.
Yeah, because you specialize in Atma Manthan, so I thought 2 minutes. What do you mean by Atma Manthan?
So sitting and thinking about improving your own self. Sir, I believe in a conversational method. One should always talk to oneself as well as others to improve.
Like,
Atma Manthan points to the internal.
suppose you know that seeing mobile phones all the time is not good, but you are used to it. You can't give it up. By doing Atma Manthan, can you give it up?
Surely, sir, if I set some target for myself, I can reduce.
Have you heard about behavior change communication? BCC.
No, sir.
Certain behaviors needs aggressive addressal to change. That is BCC.
Okay.
That's a long-term process.
Okay.
Okay. That's all from us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
How was your interview?
Sir, it was very good, but I think I should improve on the depth of knowledge part. I think I can improve on that.
Can you be specific?
Sir, as like sir asked regarding that Palestinian refugee issue, I think I could not satisfy that answer very well. And again, the last question you asked, the Atma Manthan one and the election commission one, I think I can improve on those positions.
You got nervous or you didn't know it?
Sir, actually, I did not expect it that such a question could be asked, so I could not formulate very well.
See, consider what's the question. The problem in both the questions, you're not considering the options and then answering them. Okay, right? So first, if you wanted to take time in answering, ideally what you should have done, you should have talked about who are the countries which can take the refugees.
Yes.
So Egypt is close by. Lebanon anyhow is pretty much not in the best state. Syria can't take it. Jordan. And then obviously maybe the other Arab states.
Yes.
So what is perhaps required is a meet and an accord in which the refugees are shared by all countries, right? And if the Western powers are not accepting those refugees in their countries, they should financially provide, right, for them in
All
these.
the stakeholders must be on board.
Okay. So what if you answer like this? How would I think about you? I would think, okay, he's considering the situation, holistically at least. Even if he doesn't have an answer, nobody has an answer to be honest. Well, right? At the end of the day, does anybody has the answer to Israel-Palestine? I love to meet him, right? Trump has an answer. Yeah, Trump definitely has one, right? And
That's joking.
right. So, okay. So that's the thing. And even the other thing, right, which Sir said that see, remember, it's an ethical dilemma which has been presented to you in both cases. Okay. So here, what is seen is, are you still thinking or have you given up?
Okay, sir.
Don't give up.
Okay, sir.
Still think. Analyze, right? Create a structure, answer. Okay, right? Okay, like the dog breeds. Now, the conversation should have been about, okay, what are the breeds which are, seen to be very aggressive? So, pit bull. There are a few like those, right? And you know them, right? You're a dog lover,
Yes, yes.
you would know the list, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, how should, right? So, obviously, such breeds are dangerous in a lot of ways. Okay. So, should they be domesticated? Because they're hunting dogs, perhaps.
Yes.
So, the MC says no, right, in every part of our country, that, they're banning in every part of the country, right? The other parts were nice, which you talked about, the timings. That was a very nice way of analyzing the situation, right? That was nice. So, I think so, continue.
Actually, one simple formula just you take into consideration, because when you join any of the civil services, whether it is IPS, IAS, IFS, customs, income tax, any services, you are supposed to take a decision.
Yes.
You are not a researcher.
Yes.
So the board should see a person who is a decision maker.
Okay, sir.
Keep this in mind, because
Yes.
this is something I am telling you, which you should analyze yourself to
Yes.
all your responses. Suppose I ask you about JNU. Then I could ask you about All India Institute of Medical Sciences tomorrow also. That why don't you introduce sociology in All India Institute of Medical Sciences? Then you would say, okay, introduce there also. So you are not supposed to be ambivalent.
Okay.
You get my point?
Okay. Sir.
Have a strong conviction and decide. Whichever way you say is right or wrong, because there will be counter questions on that.
Yes.
And you are in a position to defend yourself.
Yes, sir.
Suppose Jawaharlal Nehru thought about this. It's a social science institution. So, whatever impediments are there now, try to remove that.
Yes.
Rather than giving all faculties coming in because there is a space. कि एक पेड़ है तो उसके ऊपर फॉरेस्ट वाले एक गेस्ट हाउस भी बना ले. It can't be like that, no?
Yes, sir.
Then tomorrow I'll be asking you another question. कि भाई फिर वहाँ पर IIT में फिर आप मेडिकल का भी पढ़ा लो या एम्स में इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ा लो तो फिर अब तो
Let's follow the Harvard model. सब पढ़ाओ. Right?
IITs में तो शुरू कर ही दिया है.
you have to be a decision maker.
Okay.
Clear.
Yes, be very clear and you have logic.
I do.
अब मैडम फॉरेन सर्विस में जब रही तो she would have advised कि रशिया के साथ ऐसे करना है तो पीएम या फिनांस फॉरेन अफेयर मिनिस्टर बोलेंगे नहीं करना है. It's okay, but her opinion she had given. She does not give an opinion. रशिया के साथ ये भी कर सकते हो वो भी कर सकते हो जो मर्जी कर लो. No,
वो नहीं होता.
Clear.
you
You go ahead, not go ahead.
Okay.
And give pros and cons if there are any.
So you change your approach a bit. Otherwise, you are very good communicator. You got a pleasant personality. You got information base. You can do well. Only thing is, don't fall into the trap. If you don't know,
I should not try to balance too much, rather take a
yeah,
stand.
you are a decider.
Okay.
But whatever you say, you should not be stubborn also. You know.
Okay.
कि आपने कोई गलत शब्द बोल गया और इसके बाद you don't stick to that. Suppose there is some fault finding by the board, then you can ask for apology for that.
Okay.
But you should be strong in your
Decision making.
responses. Okay. That's the only advice from my side.
Okay.
You should not do a balance. Balance रहना चाहिए. But at the same time, you should be decisive on whatever you choose. And number one, I find you brilliant and I find you very promising. You have also understood where you can improve. So has also told you.
That's correct.
So use your time to build up and you will do well.
Is my speed of speaking
Good.
Yeah, it's
Or
okay.
is it
It's
fine?
all right. It's all right.
It's good.
Sometimes it goes a little faster, but most of the time it was all right.
Okay, sir.
But if you feel like you pause for a few seconds, think about it and then respond.
Like this was the issue. Like in some of the answers, what I did was that I was speaking and then suddenly I took a 5-6 second pause. So like from that, how should I recover?
No.
5-6 seconds is too long.
Yes.
Right, 2
And
seconds.
I took that pause in one of the
If you
answers.
take 5-6 seconds, then ask the permission from the board for that.
लंबा सोचना है तो कि मैं yeah.
Otherwise, आप कोई भी जवाब दे रहे हो,
थोड़ा 1-2 सेकंड आप पॉज ले सकते हैं.
Question is very pertinent. Your question is, you start speaking and then you take a pause. Don't do that. Try to avoid that. You take a pause beforehand, frame your answer, contemplate, and frame your answer and then speak. When you are speaking,
बीच में चुप हो गए
बीच में चुप हो गए.
तो आप कहीं blind dialing में चले गए ना.
Yes.
You can't recall sometimes. It's okay. So now I can't recall. You can get out of it. Sorry, apologize and say sorry. I just cannot recall. And I'd like to just add that you need to include. Sometimes you're including all board members. Sometimes you're not.
Okay.
And you'll be sitting like this. The stiff posture not required.
Okay.
Keep your hands. How do you normally sit?
Like this only.
हाथ ऐसे रखे रहते हैं, हाँ, बस. And little bit of movement was there. You don't have to sit like this. All right, it makes you stiff and you've had a worried look throughout. Why are you worried? If you're going to be worried, your performance will be worried. Okay. All right. So don't have this worried look. And overall, you're good. And avoid guessing. Each mein you were trying to guess. Please. Completely avoid guessing. Just leave it. If you don't know, it's all right. Or ask, may I guess? All right. Because otherwise, because your answers, you're not sure. So you started saying something for the sake of answering. No. All right. So be clear in your mind. Listen to the question, formulate your answers and reply. And you have time now, so please read editorials. It'll help you to conceptualize better. Which papers are you reading?
For General, Indian Express, and for Economics, the Mint.
The Mint. Hindu also, a little bit of the editorials. These editorials give you the gist, and beyond. If you look, they give you the gist, especially on international affairs, even within India, but especially on international. They give you a very concise, clear picture and cover all the points. So read that. That will help you to make your mind clear, give you more clarity.
And IR ke liye, go through The Economist.
Yes.
Right? You still in JNU? Or I think you can access it, right?
Yes, I can access it.
So go to the library, pick up The Economist.
Yeah, Economist.
So now, okay, Russia, Ukraine has to be prepared. You know that, Israel, Gaza has to be prepared. Trump has to be prepared. Pick up the issue regarding that, read the article, get it done with. So that you have a lot of opinions. Okay, and read the speeches on the MEA website.
Yes.
Right? I think they're the best source in terms of ideas. Right?
And if a particular board member is asking, I should not only have eye contact with them, but rather skim through all
Not
of
all,
them.
not fast.
Yeah, 70%.
It's a conversation.
70%
Don't
there,
be
and
mechanical.
the rest
Right?
as
So let's say I'm talking, but you do not want, see, there are other 4 people. Let's say you're sitting in a group with elders, right? कोई एक कुछ पूछ रहा आपसे, you even allow the conversation to happen to others as well, right? Because remember, actually, it should be very natural conversation, right? It should not even be like कि sir ने पूछा फिर उन्होंने पूछा ऐसे. Actually, ये भी नहीं होना चाहिए, right? To be honest, there have been interviews of our students जिसमें पहले एक क्वेश्चन सर पूछ रहे, फिर अचानक मैम आ गई, फिर वहां पहुंच गया, फिर यहाँ आ गया, बिकॉज अब क्या हो रहा है, बहुत जेन्युइन कॉन्वर्सेशन स्टार्ट हो गई है व्हेन दिस इज हैपनिंग, राइट? दिस हैपेंस वेरी रेयरली, but that happens when the candidate is allowing for a conversation instead of a question answer session.
When you argue with somebody, you look at him only. Okay. When you are fighting,
Yes.
लड़ाई होती है ना. When you are talking with somebody,
Yes.
then every listener is involved in that.
Okay, sir.
This is the difference.
Okay, sir.
So this you keep in mind कि आप इनके साथ आर्ग्यू कर रहे हो तो फिर इन्हीं को देखो. अगर हम लोगों को सुना रहे हो तो ये छोटी सी चीज है. This is the key.
Okay, sir. Okay.
They are basic life skills.
Okay.
Okay? All the best.
Thank you, sir.